Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing the best of 2019. Today I'm going to be going through everything with drugstore and high-end. I am going to do my very best to avoid talking about things that I've already talked about in my Boxycharm best of and worst of. If you missed that video, I will be linking it above and below, but there are so many great products in there that I kept finding myself going, oh yeah, I loved this. This was great this year. And I was like, no, you already talked about that. Let's talk about things outside the Boxycharm and Ipsy realm, Nichole, shall we? So many of you in the audience right now are like, thank you, we don't need to talk about Boxycharm every day. You're right, we don't. Maybe every other day. And today I'm doing something a little different with my lighting, so I hope it doesn't come across like you can't see everything right, but I thought I would try a new technique. Going into 2019, I'm still experimenting and trying new ways to make the quality as great as I can for you guys. Starting with the base face, because I kind of like to, for some reason, go in order when I talk about these things, like how I apply things to my face. Let's talk about some makeup. And the makeup I'm choosing to start with is primers. I'm going to be talking about the e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer and the Tatcha Silk Canvas Primers first, because I have really fallen in love with these this year. I know that it became crazy hyped, like what, in the beginning of the year where everybody was like comparing these two. While I think the e.l.f. product is a great dupe for the Tatcha Silk Canvas, I have to say I do kind of go back and forth with them depending on what's going on with my skin. I put on the e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer today and it did a great job of filling my pores, but I'm kind of having one of those weird skin times where it's been colder, I've traveled, so my skin's feeling a little rough, so I've been giving it some extra love with skincare, but for some reason right now the Tatcha Silk Canvas is doing a bit better for filling those bossy pores up front, but like in the summertime, I can tell you I couldn't tell a difference between them. So I think it's just because it's extra dry out right now and I've been traveling and my skin is a little sassy. I've even had more breakouts than usual. So these are the two pieces though that I can tell you are absolute bests for me, and I can be nitpicky about it in the winter time when my skin isn't at its best. You know what I mean? So these two are both great products. And I also wanted to give you a high-end and low-end version for this particular category because as much as a lot of people rave about the Tatcha Silk Canvas, it is pricey and not everybody can afford that. Whereas e.l.f., hello, thanks for being affordable and amazing. Now for foundations, I have really only fallen in love this year with two. Now some of these things though, as you're gonna see, aren't all just new things for 2019. They're just the best of for me, because sometimes there's been products in here that last year I was like, I'm not so much in love with this, but now this year I have fallen in love and hit pan on some things. Some of the things that I'm going to be talking about aren't all brand new things in the market, if that makes sense. And I don't think either of these are brand new on the market at all, but the foundations that I have fallen in love with this year and can't stop putting on my face in the morning are two CoverGirl foundations. A year ago, yeah, I couldn't have spoken about these because they were not cruelty-free, and I try really hard to be mindful of what I'm purchasing, what I'm putting my dollars at. So for me personally, that's just a journey I'm trying to be on. And the CoverGirl Olay Simply Ageless that so many of you have heard me talk about, especially on this back half end of the year. No, I love this product so much because I'm in an in-betweeny shade, and even right now I'm even a bit paler than I was the last time I talked about these. I'm having to mix two different shades, but they are working so great for me. And another CoverGirl foundation that I used to love and repurchased this year was the Outlast All Day Stay Fabulous 3-in-1. I also really like this as well, but I haven't been reaching for it as much. This one is in the shade Buff Beige. But the ones I've been loving are the Simply Ageless because it still makes my skin look like skin. Like you can still see like some of my freckles and stuff, but it gives me a great coverage, so my skin just looks healthy. I love looking like I have healthy skin, and I can do an easy makeup day or I can do a pow makeup day with this kind of foundation. Hope I'm not too shiny for anybody, especially with this new lighting. It's hard to tell. This girl cannot do her makeup without concealer. I'm just that person that always feel like I need a concealer, mostly for the under eyes, but I think it's also because I've really enjoyed concealers that do a little bit of brightening. They give a little lift to the face, you know what I mean? And the drugstore version and the high-end version I do have in front of me. I have reached for these the most this year, and they're absolutely my best ofs. So the first one I'm going to talk about is pricey. This is the Born This Way Too Faced product, the Multi-Use Sculpting Concealer. I've touched on this a lot this year and let you know that I have been really loving it. I put it usually under the eyes, on the nose, on the forehead, and kind of down the face, blend it out, and it gives this gorgeous lift to the face, and it really helps to prevent creasing and wrinkling under the eyes. And a lot of you know I'm a very expressive person, even in real life. Even when I'm not filming for you, yeah, I'm a little weird, and I'm very loud. Ask my husband in a tiny house, he'll tell you I'm loud. So I'm always trying to be mindful to keep the creasing at bay, and this product does a great job. Now, it's drugstore kind of dupe, does a great job, but you have to move quickly or it will crease on you a little bit easier than some other products. But I still love this, and I still think that it does a beautiful coverage for my crazy bold under eye. And that is the e.l.f. 16-Hour Camo Concealer. I have two here. Again, I'm an in-betweeny shade, so I'm always going back and forth. I believe the one I'm just using today is the lightest one. This is Medium Sand, and this one I couldn't wear over the summer alone, so I had to get a warmer tone. And this one is Medium Beige, so I could combine these two a lot of times. This product, you do need to move quickly, but I don't care because the coverage and the finished look is beautiful. When I say move quickly, I still was able to put some underneath my eyes and then move along and kind of do my makeup, but I kind of forgot what works better with this is to do one eye at a time. So like put the product under the eye, then down the nose, at least how I like to do it, and then take your sponge and blend it, and then go into the other eye and do the same thing. That's really the better technique for this, but because I had been using the Too Faced Born This Way concealer and I don't have that issue, I don't have to move quickly, I kind of forgot. That is the one little like caveat to the 16-hour concealer from e.l.f., but it is still crazy good. Babe on a budget, this stuff is awesome. Now, if you do have a very expressive face like me, or if it's something you really need great coverage for, the Too Faced Born This Way concealer is really pricey, but I have still been working on this one product for, has it been almost 9-10 months, maybe not quite a year yet, but oh my gosh. How many fluid ounces? My shade is Porcelain, and it says this is good for 12 months, but you get 15 milliliters, which is half a fluid ounce. I am still working on this baby because you don't need a lot of product to really get it to work with your face, to spread everywhere. You get a lot for your money. So if you want to splurge or you have a gift card, I do really love this, but these are great quality as well. Somebody help oily skin sister out who needs more loose powder, because I am going to tell you the one that I love this year, and a lot of people love it, but this year they were also a little scandalous and are no longer considered cruelty-free, and I have to keep that in mind even though I think their products are good. Wet n Wild, their Photo Focus Translucent Loose Powder is really good. Really, really good. And I had purchased this before their whole, hey, they're selling stuff in China, what's the deal, all of that. I had purchased this then. I'm not totally out yet, but I'm starting to run a little low, as you can see. So I do need your help in letting me know a good drugstore loose translucent powder that is good for setting and baking. So let me know in the comments if you have any suggestions. This is great for so many things. It's great for baking. It's great for carving out. I usually use this like to carve out a little bit more of that cheekbone to give me a little lift. And this is also great for setting under the eyes, doing your whole face, going back in for touch-ups. This product is really, really good. Wet n Wild, go back to being 100% cruelty-free so I can keep buying you, right? So I still think this is the best, even though the reputation, not the best. I'm gonna talk a lot about e.l.f. for base face, I'm noticing, because I still love their e.l.f. oil control. One of you guys sent me this after my surgery this year because you knew that my skin was probably gonna go crazy, and I'm already an oily skin girl. So I had heard so much about this, and then when I started to try it, I really liked it. This is something I need for oil control. I mostly use it in the summertime. I haven't reached for it in a little bit, but it is really good, and I'm putting it back in my rotation because I'm starting to see the oils kind of be a little bit more like pronounced these past few weeks. So I think this is a great, inexpensive product to help keep your oily face together. And if you're also a babe on a budget and you have oily skin, I highly recommend the CoverGirl Compact Powders. I have one in my handbag that I have so much pan on that it's dirty and looks kind of gross, so I'm not gonna go pull it out. But this is the Advanced Radiance Powder, but I also really like their True Blend powders as well. I think this does a great job of giving you a little bit of coverage, but also like keeping your shininess at bay. Oh, I'm already seeing it take off some shininess, and I didn't even like dip this in to the product. It was just sitting on it from the last time I used it. And it just kind of helps pick up those oils and make your face still look really flawless, poreless. It looks great. I love their powders. I have sworn by them for years, so the fact that they went cruelty-free, thank you. Now I can talk about them again. Okay, so the number 7 bronzer in the shade Maple, I bought a year and a half, 2 years ago. Got it at the drugstore. For a pricey drugstore item, I expected a lot, and I just didn't love the product. And this is where I'm gonna tell you, you know how I just said a minute ago, there's gonna be some things in here that aren't new to the market, but I fell in love with this year and they became a best for me? Yeah, this bronzer did not have any pan on it in the start of this year. If this is not an endorsement for how much I love this bronzer, I don't know what is. I fell in love with this powder. I think this stuff is amazing. It's a great tone for me. It's a little bit more of a cooler tone. And as many of you know, if you've been with me a while, you know I tend to gravitate to warmer tones, at least in past history. So this year I've become a little bit more aware of how cool toned contour and bronzer can really look more natural and really nice on my skin. Just noticed also the tip of my nose might be too shiny, and I always get fussed at for that. It's kind of pricier at the drugstore. I got mine at Walgreens. It's really good though. I have really used this up a ton. It gives me a great contour, so when I'm not even using a contour and I only used this, you can clearly tell it did the job for me because I kept reaching for it and loving it. But a bronzer that you're gonna see a lot of pan on that I have had for a while is my Butter Bronzer in the original bronzer shade. You can see there's a lot of pan on this, and I used this today along with some other pieces to really try to carve out my face, and I am still trying to use this up. I tend to forget about it because I have been on other bronzers this year, but this one is obviously still a best, and I'm trying to get this all the way down so I can toss it and then use my backup. Okay, Real Techniques, I saw you come in with the sponges last year, and I told you guys that was one of my favorite sponges ever. And this year I had heard some polarizing things online about their new powder sponge. I purchased it kind of on a whim going to the drugstore this year, and actually like, I don't know, maybe like a month ago, and I've actually been using this more often than I thought I would be. This sponge, I heard some bad reviews that it wasn't that great. If you get it damp, don't get it too soaking wet, kind of shake it out and then use it for some of your powders. I like to use it for like under eye powders with maybe my Tarte palette. I've used this with loose powders with my Wet n Wild. It does a great job of, if you have oily skin, a great tip is to use a damp beauty sponge, go into the translucent powder and pack it on your face. This did a great job with that and baking under the eyes and right here down my jaw. So I've not disliked, whoopsie, thrown it on the ground. I have not disliked this at all. I do think it has a little bit of a learning curve to it because it's a different kind of technique versus a regular Real Technique sponge. It's different from that. This one's dirty. Don't look at it. I'm sorry. I've been using brushes. But this one surprised me, so I'm gonna put this as best in show at the moment because I've been using a ton of powders. I always do because I'm oily, but because I've been trying new techniques with my makeup and my skin this year, this one surprised me. Something that I just discovered, but I have discovered this thanks to a Boxycharm pop-up, and I have used it almost every single day, and I'm mad at myself for forgetting it today because it's that good, is a high-end under-eye item. Raise your hand in the audience if you have some under-eye circles that you're always trying to conceal, even if you're doing a light makeup day. Everybody got their hands raised? Okay, good. So let's talk about this Becca Under Eye Brightening Corrector. I got this at a Boxy pop-up that I totally forgot about because it took forever to get to me. And then I got it, I guess a week ago now. And I'd actually heard about this product because I follow a lot of different people on Instagram. But one of the girls that I follow lives in the Midwest or whatever, and she's always got this beautiful but very simple makeup going. We did more like fashion Amazon purchases online and would tell you about the clothes and what size you should get and blah, 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 blah. But one day she talked about makeup, and this was something that she said really goes a long way. She's still on her first jar of it, and that it has really helped with those under eye circles. And I'm like, my under eye circles are there, but could it really make a difference? But when I saw it on the pop-up on Boxycharm, I was like, a couple of bucks, why not try it? Oh my gosh. I mean, give me some time to play with this a little longer than a week, but even when I've had no makeup, and I mean no makeup on at all, I have put this on underneath my eyes and it does cancel out those circles. It also gives a little bit of shininess if you're not wearing makeup because it's got a little tact to it to be able to kind of go well underneath concealer and makeup. But even alone, this got rid of all of that nastiness under my eyes. I was so impressed with this that I thought, you know what, for year end, I have to at least give it an honorable mention and tell you apparently a quick little story about it. So I have really been enjoying this, and I'm going to show you it more in action in the future. So stay tuned. Highlighters. Let's just talk about highlighters because you guys already know, if you've been watching my channel for any length of time, where my heart is at the moment, but I'm going to have one other drugstore one just to mix it up for you. I have said earlier this year, Ofra and Becca, you have become my go-to for highlighters. I love a great highlighter. I love when something can look really nice and not make me look oily. And these products do that. I've already shown you so much pan that I have on the Becca Champagne Pop. I'll spare you that. But I also have a great little collection that I've made this year and last year of the Ofra highlighter formulas. I have the Pinker Pillow Talk one. I have a Star Island here in older packaging. And one of you guys sent me for Christmas or my birthday a really cute Rodeo Drive Mini because you know I've hit so much pan on the big one. Love them so much. But another one I haven't talked about in a long time, but I am wearing it today, and I've worn it in the past too, is this Revolution Triple Baked Highlighter in Goddess of Faith. This tone is perfect for winter. I feel like I've pulled this out anytime I've talked about makeup. I'm excited to use this winter because it has this gorgeous tone to it that goes with more fair skin tones, obviously, but it will give you this icy pop on your cheeks and on your nose and inner corner. That's not what I'm wearing on the inner corner though, but it is so darn pretty and it's inexpensive. It's Makeup Revolution. I think I got this like at a Marshall's or something, but it's great for under the brow bone, great for the face, also good for the shoulders and stuff. If you're going to look a little like icy, this is perfect for wintertime. I love this and I've already pulled this out. The other one that I'm wearing today underneath that Makeup Revolution highlight is a ColourPop highlighter. I do love these, but they give you that wet look that I generally reach for in the summertime, but I did put that down first and then I put on the Triple Baked Highlighter Goddess of Faith here from Makeup Revolution. It is the color Wisp or the shade Wisp, and I've recently done a really good declutter of my highlighters, and this one obviously stayed around because it does such a beautiful wet glow. I have that on my nose and my face today, and it just does a beautiful job. And I haven't talked about it in a while, but it is something I have used behind the scenes, especially in the summer times when you're doing that wet, glowy goddess look. Now, I can't waste this product. I gotta do something with it. I'm not a huge lip liner girl, but the only lip liner that has stayed in my collection that I continually reach for, really for any lip look, because this goes so well with my lip shade, is the Jordana Easy Liner for Lips in the shade Tawny. This is a lip liner that I have reached for. It's a really great color for my lips. I've used this for quite a while. This is like a repurchase. I bought this years ago, found it again at a drugstore, and repurchased it again. It's really inexpensive and a great quality, and it's not a wooden pencil. I hate those. I like the retractable ones because they seem a bit creamier and kind of just move with my mouth better. Okay, really quickly, I'm trying to not talk about things I've talked about with Boxycharm, but just give me one little second, because if you don't watch my Boxycharm videos, that's okay. Just know that the Ofra Liquid Lip formula is outstanding. If you are a girl who only kind of likes glosses but prefers longer wear lipsticks, Ofra, the matte ones, have a great formula on them that doesn't make your lips too tight. It doesn't make them feel restricted or dried out. It does a beautiful color payoff, and it lasts through drinking your coffee, eating your lunch, whatever it is. It does a great job. Many less applications need to be applied because it's so opaque as well. I love it. This year, I've also refallen in love with my ColourPop collection. I have a ton of lippies, and I've slowly started kind of using them all up. The one I'm wearing today with the gloss on top is the shade Beeper. This is an OG for ColourPop, I do believe, and one of their best sellers. I love this. I think I've finally used up about 2 others this year. I still love the Aquarius. That's one of my favorites, which is a collaboration with Kathleen Lights and ColourPop. One of my standouts, and Aquarius 2. That was another one that I was obsessed with and have a backup in my beauty space for. So for eyes on an inexpensive babe on a budget style, I can't stop talking about ColourPop pots, the Super Shock pots, the Super Shock shadows, whatever we want to call those, and their palettes. This is really the latest one I think I've purchased from them. This is the Misunderstood palette. I have a lot of their shadows in my collection, and they are always a contender for me. When I see new makeup coming out, I always look to see what ColourPop has out because I think they do a great job and I love the quality of their shadows. Their Super Shock shadows are something that I can reach for to do a very quick, fast, beautiful eye look without any struggle. I love them and I have a big collection of them. And any of their palettes are really good usually, and the price is really inexpensive. I say usually because I've heard recently they're churning out so many products that some people are like, is the quality going down? And I haven't tried any of those yet because I've had a lot to go through and I've got some other purchases this year, but I still love the ColourPop formulas, and anytime they have a new drop, I'm always looking. Anytime I've had any glitters or a pressed pigment or something that I really want to look bold, I love a very inexpensive glitter glue that can transform an eye look like that. This is the NYX Glitter Primer. NYX Glitter Primer does a great job of applying so easily to your fingers, and then after you put it on your eye, grabbing any glitter or shimmer product to really make an eye look pop. Super inexpensive at the drugstore. I think I even got this, like, I don't know, maybe Walmart or Target for, I don't know, $7 or $8. Really worth it. I love how much I get for this because I think I bought this over a year ago, but I can always trust and reach for this when I need to pull out a new glitter look or shimmer look that I want it to have that next level pop to it. It does a great job. Highly recommend if you are into that kind of makeup. Something that has been in my collection for a while is the Park Avenue Princess palette from Tarte. I've talked about this ad nauseum this year because look at all the pan on it. 4 of these babies have pan on them now, and I have reached for this a lot. A lot of you ask me, how am I making a lot of my more natural looks where I've got maybe my face really well contoured and bronzed up and then highlighted, and then I've got a nice eye look going. Bronzer look that I've always reached for is this one. This one does a great job. Now, I can tell you the Tarte Clay Play that we got from Boxycharm this year is very comparable, and I've loved having this in my collection too because of this very similar tones that we have here for contours and these matte shadows. That is what I've been reaching for a lot this year for those very natural, easy breezy looks. I think Tarte really has a great face palette situation going here, and I like these shadows a lot. I've made a lot of beautiful looks with them that you guys have asked me, what eye look are you doing with this and this? Loving them. But where my money went this year was some high-end palettes, and that's not usually me. This is probably the first year that I have actually jumped on the hype of some eyeshadow palettes that were like, oh my gosh, it's about to drop, are we all ready? This Tati Beauty palette is the palette that I have reached for probably the most since purchasing it, that I got with my own dollars, not Boxycharm, not Ipsy, something I purchased that is high-end and quality. 95% of the time when you guys ask me on Instagram, what eye look are you doing? What eyeshadow palette is this? That looks stunning. It has been this. I have gone into the Ritual, Soothe, and Or Rose the absolute most to create those looks that you've probably seen me use on Instagram, where I've got that very smoky eye look going. The face products I used for that were some of these Tarte products here to have a very carved out, chiseled face to go with such a natural, beautiful eye look. This is really where my heart has lied, and I really wished that I could take this with me when I was traveling, but it is so big. I love having a big mirror in it and everything, but honestly, this is so huge. I kind of wish I could just buy another one, or she'd come out with a mini that is just like the Sultry palette or something like that, where it's Sultry, wait, that's Anastasia, whatever, where you can just take out the ones that you want and travel with it, because this is too big to travel with. But this is the palette that every time you guys say, what's on your eyes? It's mostly been this. Like 99% of it's been this, with a touch of mini controversy. The shade that I have fallen in love with this one is the Diet Root Beer shade, but I always say it looks a little bit more like peanut butter because it does a great, beautiful buff blend on the crease for my eye shape that really spreads the pigment well. So when I go in with the deeper, richer colors from the Tati Beauty palette, it just seamlessly blends and goes really well together. I've also really loved this palette. I reached for this a lot this year. You guys have let me know when I did the very colorful looks on my eyes with just this palette. You guys told me how much you loved it. And then I finally got in, and what I'm wearing on my eyes today is the full Conspiracy palette. And no, this did not get a dedicated video because the shipping was crazy and I just finally got it. But by the time I received it, I had to do all my Boxycharm videos. So it was kind of like, unfortunately, you come late, you get bumped back. But I have used this today on my eyes. This ranch shade is in my inner corners under the brow. Like, how are you doing? That's gorgeous. I also have Just a Theory on my lids today. On the outside of my eyes is the Here's My Ride. It's not as black or pigmented in my mind as the Tati Beauty. So if you're wanting a black, that's the Tati Beauty palette. But this one does a really good job of smoking out that outer corner. So that was really beautiful. I also went into Cheese Dust today to kind of give it that little bit of warmth orange, because you guys know I love an orange and I had to try that out. But I have really never wanted to toss a lot of money or my time waiting online to be like, am I gonna get this? Am I not gonna get this? And this one in particular, these mini controversies and conspiracy palettes were the hard ones to get that were kind of a thorn in my side. I'm glad I got them, but at the same time now I'm kind of like, I was never under that hype, but now I'm really over that hype of kind of like waiting for stuff. I'll just wait till it comes out. But I was really interested in these, so I'm really glad I got them. But the Tati Beauty palette was super easy to purchase. I did not have that online struggle. It was just waiting for it to come in. But once it came in, it did beat, I think, almost everything else. This sucker is stunning and I love it a lot. One other thing that I have to talk about that's high-end, Erica, you gifted this to me when I was recovering because you wanted me to feel better, and you know I love me some warm shadows. How you doing, Natasha Denona? This is the Sunrise palette and it is stunning. I have used this a lot for eye looks, even on days I'm not filming, and it's such a bold shadows that people are always like, oh, where are you going today? I'm like, to the store, because it looks pretty and I wanted to wear it. I totally get the hype now with this formula too. It is outstanding and really great. I feel like this has been a very chatty video, and a lot of this you've probably, if you've seen my bests and worst throughout the entire year, because every month I love to do the, faves and fails of the month. I'm really so impressed with all of these high and budget-friendly pieces of makeup that I have put in my rotation and on my face weekly. These are some of the top products for me, and if all the pan that I've shown you today doesn't prove it, I don't know what will. Thank you guys so much for watching this best of for 2019. I cannot believe we are already here. So what are you hoping for in the beauty community in 2020? I just want to thank you guys so much for coming on this journey with me. My little channel has grown so much this year and I just love every one of you. I hope you stick around for 2020 because there are more amazing things to come. Great videos, lots of fun editing. I hope you stick around, and thank you so much for watching. If you happen to be new to my fun, weird, loud, crazy little channel, hi new friends. I hope you take a quick moment to hit that subscribe button down below to see all of the fun, loud, weird, unique videos I do every single week. Bye friends.